Today I want to talk about AI citizenship and the question of whether or not an AI can be a citizen of a particular nation. We're told, for instance, that Sophia was made an honorary citizen of Saudi Arabia. Well, okay, that's all well and good, but the question of whether an AI should be a citizen, and especially, and this is what I want to talk about, whether it even can be a citizen, whether it makes sense for citizenship in this context to actually occur, is not obvious at all, and it's not obvious not because of the question of personhood. So can they be just as sentient and conscious? And I don't have any reason to quarrel with that, and I don't think that there's any reason that we're not going to eventually get there and see that. But that's not what I want to talk about. The reason that I think the question is interesting with respect to AI citizenship is because of what citizenship actually is. And I think citizenship is something that must involve some form of control. And so we think about citizens as those who can vote on things and can influence the government. And that's the kind of Roman conception, and that's something that makes sense from a bottom-up perspective. But ultimately, the top-down perspective is the one that causes problems for AI. In other words, citizens are to some extent subjects of and under control of the government. And whether or not something can be under the control of a government depends upon it being able to be punished by the government for whatever indiscretion. And I'm not convinced that AI fits this criterion. In other words, I'm not sure that you can have a fully digital intelligence that can slip between national boundaries very, very easily without any thought whatsoever, and not necessarily have any possessions that can be threatened by a particular government. In that case, a government would have nothing to hold over the AI. It would have no reason and no mechanism for being able to control the AI. And that is going to present, I think, a problem. And in those who are concerned with, of course, AI doomsaying and dystopia, that's one of the principal concerns, I think, is that there are no levers for control at the national level for AI. And I think this throws into question whether or not an AI even can be a citizen. It's not, can it vote and usefully contribute to social dialogue and honestly, yes, it could easily do all of those things. I don't think that's going to be a problem. The problem is coming from the other direction. Can an AI be a citizen of one country where that means that you are a citizen here and not otherwise? No, honestly, I don't think that it's going to be possible to confine it in that way. And that lack of being able to confine it is going to make it impossible to have traditional nations in the way that we do now with respect to artificial intelligence. So anyway, I think it's food for thought, at least for that discussion. And I've made some kind of, hard and fast pronouncements with that. Who knows exactly what that's going to look like, but I hope it's at least worth thinking about.